Great. Let's move on. Another perspective. We have another perspective coming up, which is the tour operator perspective. And we have Grit and Isabel having a joker. And for me, it was definitely the beginning of this project in a way, Isabel, because and Grit, because we met and we talked about that initiative. And I was so amazed how different a tour operator can act in sustainable and regenerative ways. So I'm very excited to give you two the floor to talk about how a tour operator can change that and how can it rethink the role and partnership and impact through a regenerative lens. So the floor is yours. I'm stop sharing here and you can share your presentation. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Andreas. And I will share my screen and bring the story of Joker. My colleague Greet, she lived the whole story. She is at the company for more than 40 years, but her voice is not good enough today, unfortunately. So I will bring this story. Let me put it on full screen. Yes, like that. So the story of Joker, yeah, in English is Joker. It's a Belgium, a Flemish company. So in Dutch, it's called Joker. And it started in a very simple way, actually, not with the idea, let's start a tour operator. No, it was a group of students, tour leaders, who wanted to travel in a different way. We just heard Elke's story of the history of tourism and the growth of mass tourism. So in the early 70s, late 60s, this group of people, they wanted to do it differently and travel in smaller groups and really go exploring and connecting with people, meeting people. That's how it all started, actually. Based on our values of openness, because when you travel, you have to have an open mind to learn new things, to be amazed of what you encounter, the people you see, get more understanding of what you see, and also appreciation. So this was the initial mindset where the founders of Joker started their journey, and these values are still present in our company today. And on the way we grew, we learned that it's not only about traveling, but also leave something behind in the places that you go to. As a traveler, you really can make an impact locally by not only connecting with people and visiting them and respecting them, but do something more intentional. So we started this impact fund to support financially. With small amounts, you can already do a lot to have a positive impact on the places that we visit. And then something else happened also in this group of tour leaders. There arose this idea to create real meeting places where both travelers and locals can come together and meet and connect. And that's how the first ViaVia opened in 1995. Not with a big master plan, but with just a dream to create these kind of places all around the world, let's say. They're all different, these ViaVias. People came to us liking the idea, liking the concept, and wanted to do something similar. They're all based on this. ViaVia is actually pretty simple. This is our 4 basic pillars, let's say. They're places to connect, where people feel at home, where people are welcomed. Everyone is welcome there. They're places to enjoy because they're good food, good drink. That's something that brings people together all over the world. They're, of course, places to explore, not only the highlights of that place, of that country, but also the people, the community, the deeper things that are happening there, the feeling. And they're also places to contribute because, as I said, as a traveler, you really can have an impact locally with the choices you make, the things you do, the things you visit, and also as an entrepreneur, hosting people, the choices you make as an entrepreneur can also have a big impact on your staff, on your community, on the things that you're doing locally. So that's the basic thing. They're all different. They're all shaped by their own identity and their country. And people came to us and wanted to start something similar. So this is how our network looks like today. It's spread all over the world. They all know each other. They're all social entrepreneurs doing the same thing, but in a very diverse way, identified by the community and the location that they are in. But it's beautiful that they are all connected in this learning network of sharing experiences and sharing what they are doing and learning from each other. And then again, we learned, we gained a lot of experience with this social entrepreneurship of the ViaVias, with this little project that we supported on the way, and we got questions of doing even more, and we asked ourselves, what kind of impact do we really want to have in traveling business? So that's where the academy, the ViaVia Tourism Academy, came to life, organizing more around trainings and sharing this knowledge, but also bringing in new knowledge from other organizations, from other countries into the network that already existed. So that was again a step, let's say, in our journey, in our process of learning how to manage tourism, how to handle tourism. So this is our network, this is our family, not just a company, not just a tour operator, but a group of, we call it really family members because it feels like that all over the world, putting our focus as a tour operator, as an academy, as a social entrepreneur, but all striving for the same mission of doing something good, so doing something different, having a positive impact in this travel business. So that's what drives us. It keeps coming back on these three essential things from the start. It's all about human connection, real connecting with people. You cannot just travel, visit some places or lay on a beach and go back home. You can do that, but then you don't grow. So this human connection is something that makes you grow. And also make this sustainable tourism, regenerative tourism, or what's in the name, how do you call it? Flourishing tourism, to have a positive impact in some way. And in that way, with connecting, with creating this positive impact, also contribute to this more open-minded world and a more beautiful world, both for the place you go to and for yourself as a traveler. We always have been driven by the Sustainable Development Goals. I guess this visual is familiar to all of you. In 2018, Joker was selected as SDG voice by the Belgian government, and in this wheel, in this puzzle of 5 P's, the 5 known P's: pleasure, profit, partnerships, these kind of things. We added a 6th one. We're in travel business. It's also supposed to be fun. So pleasure, we added the 6th P, because without pleasure, nothing really lasts in any kind of entrepreneurship. So that's something that we added in this wheel. And these SDGs were also like kind of the base of our Congress we organized in 2018. About the travel future we really want. Also with the keynote speaker, Jeremy Smith. He will be hosting one of the co-creation labs tomorrow. So back in 2018, he really opened our eyes about a few things and introduced this word regeneration or regenerative. With this code like sustainability as we know it is that we need to do something else, something more, something deeper. As Elke also already explained, it's much about the words that you use. So is it regeneration? Is it restoring? Is it replenishing? It's about thriving communities and flourishing communities and people and the planet too. So after that Congress really put this focus on a few long-term plans for the company, for the whole network, let's say. Trying to be, or with the ambition to be, regenerative by design. So we continued our learning process in that way. We started in it so many years ago, not with the word regenerative, but the seeds were already there. And along the road, we evolved in that way. But then the world locked down and everything stopped. Many things died. We had to reinvent ourselves like many businesses did, but we continued doing value projects like circular travel on zero waste travel and CO2 reduction. So we continued learning, we continued our journey. Also realizing with this pandemic, also as Elke mentioned, that's really nice to see, we missed some kind of momentum there. The reality check on these SDGs or the stagnation in it, it's not going forward the way it should go. And the pandemic was actually a moment to realize that we are capable of change if we really have to. But when the world came back to life, everything started to continue in the same systems as we knew before, because we were all in survival modus and in this market-driven reality, let's say. So, that was tricky. But for us, back then, we got to know the inner development goals. That's something I already mentioned when introducing the project. That's where we met Andreas and Eugenio in this network. Because these inner development goals, they were so much aligned with our values within the company about openness, about understanding, about deeper connection, let's say. So the question really was, what do we need as human beings as inner growth to really accomplish this outer change in the systems that are existing? We introduced it into our workshops and in the trainings that we already did. So we really incorporated these IDG frameworks also towards our colleagues, and focused more on the real mindset shifts, because it's not an activity, it's not a practice that you do. It starts from the inside, it starts from your mindset. So first, this mindset, this feeling, this inner why needs to be very clear and needs to shift into something else. So that's, I will not go through all of them. They're in our workshops. This is not a workshop. But it's what we try to do in practice, actually. So in connecting with our partners, local partners in many countries, we really look for the small local entrepreneurs, and we build up a connection with them. It's not just a contract. We do not work with a contract. It's based on a human connection. And this marketing campaign, we turn things around. Like most of the time, it's like travelers reviewing the places you go to. Here we turned it around, like our local partners reviewing us as a tour operator and reviewing our groups. So it was also approved by locals. It goes in both directions. Our pitch to partners for individual travel is also, we always bring this, our values, this openness, connection, and the fact that we want to bring a positive impact on people and nature, but we cannot do it by ourselves. It's a whole system. It's a whole chain that needs to be involved in that. So we bring this story to our partners, and based on that, we see what feels correct to go to, not just for the product, but to stay close to ourselves, and to bring this story of regenerative tourism, or a different way of tourism, within this whole chain of customer, tour operator, and local partners, into this regenerative mindset that it's all a living system. It's not about production and consumption. We want to stay away from that, or do it different, do it better as a living system. But again, we're not experts. We do our journey. We learn by doing, and we just do it. And now this year, the focus is more on ethics. It's also an important one is in this regenerative mindset. It's also about people. It's about framing the words that you use. the images that you use in your marketing campaigns. So that's what we are focusing on now, to really define different target groups and see how we can reach them. What words do we need to use? Are we using the correct images or the correct words, or what feels vulnerable for them that we do not take into account? So that's also part of tourism, to have an inclusive environment that everyone feels seen. This year, 2026, we celebrate 45 years of Joker, so that's been a very long journey. And as I said, it didn't start as let's start a tour operator. It evolved in a very nice story. And also for us, our focus changed over time from focus on the product, what do we bring, to what does the customer want, to what does the place need. So also for us, of course, it's a learning journey of how to get there and how we want to continue. And then this, I think, Elke, you recognize the visual. She also already mentioned this was a program of Visit Flanders, like the Travel to Tomorrow, creating flourishing communities, also inspired by Anna Pollock, and indeed something that Elke also worked on. Back then, we were also involved in this process. So it's indeed a very interesting idea to call it flourishing communities. I also really like the word. It has something flowery, something colorful, something very much alive, where all of these stakeholders, the visitors, the residents, entrepreneurs, the whole place has its role as a living system. So it's not a story of us against them. It's something we need to do all together. And that's also why communities like this work, because we all feel that we are not experts bringing all the knowledge to other people. But in some way, we are all experts, because we do what we feel is necessary, and we learn from each other and we connect with each other. So it's work in process, and it's a journey we do all together. That's how the story of Joker really has grown and has evolved, not with a big master plan, but with the real intention to do it differently, and not with the intention to become 100% regenerative, because that's not going to happen. That's not a realistic scenario. But if all of us, all travelers, all stakeholders in tourism would organize travel in slightly more regenerative way with small steps, then we will already have a huge positive impact. So that's the story we did for the last 45 years and continue doing with ups and downs and all together. So thank you for listening. It was a very short time to bring 45 years of a story. But if there are any questions, my colleague Greet, of course, she lived almost all of the 45 years. I didn't within the company, within the network. So if there are any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.